why don't we start with the unpopular opinions right now? So let's see. This one's coming from Frozen 2 fan 2004, and they say Frozen 2 is my favorite movie of all time. Well, yeah, I mean, from animation, that is the best animated film in 2019. Cutest is the worst movie of all time. Well, technically, it is considered as one of the worst. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey still takes the cake for one of the worst movies of all time. Walt Disney Animation Studios is better than Pixar. Well, I can say half of their movies are better than Pixar. I do think the Frozen films, Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Zootopia, Moana, and some of the other movies they made, they're super great. And even when it comes to a Pixar, I would say the 2010 decades was a better year for Walt Disney Animation Studios than Pixar, because when you look at Pixar, they only had less original films and more sequels in that year. So I have to agree with you with that. Illumination is the worst studio in the movie industry. Well, kind of, considering, yes, they are becoming now not even great. I mean, I can respect that. He says like he thinks it's a good studio. But for me personally, it's not been doing great lately. I mean, you're giving out a lot of stuff. You're pooping out minions every once in a while. So you got to stop Illumination. Think of something original now. Home and Minions are worse than Strange Magic. You can't go. He's not wrong with that. I mean, they're both bad in general. Freaky is the most overrated movie 2020 and of all time. Kind of have to disagree with you right there, because hardly anyone talks about it lately, because, there's a lot of movies that kind of overshadow it in the month of November. But if you find it overrated, then that's totally fine. I mean, we all have different opinions. Personally, I actually did like that movie. Next is Wonder Woman 1984 is the most underrated movie 2020. I would say it's the most overhated movie of 2020, since a lot of people were bashing about it, saying how Patty Jenkins didn't do a good job. It was a huge disappointment and a huge letdown. So I have to agree with you that it is an underrated movie of 2020. I liked it. That and Scoob were the only movies I actually liked that year. Okay, next one is Man of Steel is the best movie of 2013 and the best DCU movie by a landslide, and one of the best comic book movies of all time. Kind of, yeah. Besides from Shazam, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984, that's pretty much the best DCU movie they have done. Avengers Endgame is better than Dark Knight. Ooh, that's a big one right there. A lot of people will kind of have to disagree with you with that, but I personally will agree with you with that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is better than the first. Well, technically, both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are really good. The first one was a great one. The second one was pretty fun and emotional. James Gunn did put his heart and soul in those movies, and I cannot wait to see what the third one is. And yeah, the sequel is definitely one of my favorite Marvel sequels, along with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Winter Soldier, and the Infinity War and Endgame. All right, Will Smith's Genie from Aladdin is overrated. Well, technically, many people would say they didn't like the remake, but I personally like the remake, so respect your opinion for that one. Brave is an underrated gem. Well, there is A Bug's Life and Monsters, Inc., of course, but if you think it's an underrated gem, then good for you. Touch the Sky is the best Pixar song. Well, personally, I do think A Friend in Me, You Got a Friend in Me, and If I Didn't Have You were better, but if you like that one, that's totally fine. Into the Unknown should have won Best Original Song at the Oscars over I'm Gonna Love Me Again. Agreed on that one, because as much as I love Elton John and the movie Rocket Man, I think Into the Unknown should have won for... That one was original, and I really did like for what Christian Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez did for that one. It was such a great song. So I cannot believe the movie that got snubbed at the Oscars for Best Animated Film, and it did not win Best Original Song. Shame on you. Tron Legacy is the best video game movie. Have not seen that one, so I cannot agree or disagree with that one. Fantastic Beasts, Grimes and Grindelwald, Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, and Passengers, Tomorrowland are underrated gems. Well, Passengers, I could agree is an underrated gem. That's the one. Lego Movie 2, the second part, is better than Lego Batman movie. Well, kind of. No, actually, I prefer I do have to disagree with Lego Batman, because Lego Batman was a little bit better, and I do think Lego Movie 2 is better than the first one. I can say that. Spectre is one of the best Bond movies. We could agree with that. Or even with, what's the other one? Skyfall is another good one. Over the Moon is the best Netflix movie. Well, for animation, yes, because there's some other great live-action Netflix movies out there. Box Trolls is the worst stop-motion animated film of all time. Oh, yeah, I could agree with that one, because I'm not a big fan of that movie. The designs are cheesy and not that good-looking, and it makes me want to vomit. And that's the least, that's my least favorite of the Lockup movies. I mean, Coraline, Missing Link, and Kubo and the Two Strings were better. And I honestly think that one was their least and the worst one they've done. Kung Fu Panda 2 is the best DreamWorks movie, yes. And out of the Kung Fu Panda movies, yes, that is the best one. Avengers of Ultron is one of the best comic book movies of all time. Well, Endgame and Infinity War are better. I mean, Age of Ultron, it's a good movie. I mean, it may not be my favorite of the Avengers movie, but it was still decent. But I'll talk about that more when I have to review the MCU movies all by one. Ratatouille the musical is worse than Ratatouille and Cats. Disagree with that. I mean, there were some things that did good with the Ratatouille musical, but definitely could see why you don't like it. Next one's coming from Uncultured Swine, and they write, fitting, because Far From Home is one of the worst MCU movies, and that's all I can think of right now. Yeah, there's a lot of debate on Twitter for that one. I mean, there's a lot of people who would say they didn't like Far From Home. This is coming from Razor Rex, and they say, Spider-Man Far From Home is the worst Spider-Man movie. The prequels are always good from Star Wars. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the best Jurassic Park film since the first one. Shrek Forever After is the best Shrek movie. Black Cauldron is better than Frozen. Wonder Woman 1984 is good. Hustlers is not that good. The Boondock Saints is a cinematic disaster. Well, let's go with this one. Spider-Man Far From Home. I do think it's a decent movie. I mean, not the best Spider-Man movie, but definitely take it over Homecoming. The Star Wars prequels, I'll have to say The Revenge of the Sith is good, but the rest is just not good. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the best one. I kind of have to disagree with you right there because I'm not a huge fan of the Jurassic Park movies. I mean, the first one was okay, just enough, but overall, if you like the second one or if you like any of the Jurassic Park movies, then good for you, and I respect it for you. Shrek 4 is better than is the best Shrek movie. Well, the first two are better, but if you like the fourth one, then good for you. I respect that. Black Cauldron, I have not seen that one in a long time, so I cannot agree with that one. Wonder Woman 1984 is good. Yeah, I actually like that one. Hustlers, I have not seen. Boondock Saints, I have not seen that one either. Okay, moving on. This is coming from Christian Knights Loves Movies, and they write, Cuties is the worst film of any existence. Well, I said it once, but yeah, 50 Shades of Grey is even worse than that one. Toy Story 4 is a great movie. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people who would say that's their favorite Toy Story, or there's like a lot of people who would say which one's their favorite Toy Story movie. Justice League is the worst superhero movie. Could have to agree with you with that, because on behalf of the DC Cinematic Universe movies, both Suicide Squad and Justice League are pretty much one of the worst ones I've seen. And if I had to choose between one of them, I had to say Justice League is a little bit better, because at least the action is great and the visuals are nice, but talking with Suicide Squad, that's a big hunk of shit right there. I mean, I cannot believe how embarrassing that movie was. I mean, I just don't know, and I cannot wait to see what James Gunn does into his version. Pixar is better than Disney. Well, they're both good in their own genre. I mean, I cannot say which one's my favorite one between those two. Soul is better than Toy Story and The Incredibles. I mean, those are my top 3 favorite Pixar movies, so they're good in general. Madagascar 3 is overrated. Kind of not for me, personally. That I have to respect your opinion. DreamWorks is a hit and miss studios nowadays. Yes, kind of, yeah, because let's be real here. DreamWorks Animation has just been not doing well lately. I mean, sure, they did a good job with the How to Train Your Dragon movies. They did a good job with some of their original movies like Captain Underpants, but the rest are just like unbearable. And I just can't believe why would they make those movies. I mean, like Boss Baby, and then you're having a sequel coming out, and it's not going well for DreamWorks. I mean, if you're a big DreamWorks fan, then yeah, I can respect that for you. Okay, Endgame is better than Infinity War. Well, both of them are good in general, so that was good. Terminator Dark Fate was fine. Have not seen that one, but I haven't seen. The sequel trilogy is worse than the prequel trilogy. Ooh, that's a big one right there, because if I could say Revenge of the Sith is even better than some of the half of the sequel trilogy, because they really are great in general, but something with the prequels did a phenomenal job, and not giving crap to J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson. I mean, they did a good job and the best they can do with the sequel trilogy, but something about that is just, that's another topic we could talk about some other day. The next set of unpopular opinions is coming from Inside Out, Vanellope, and NES, and they say, Trolls World Tour is the best DreamWorks movie and #1 best movie 2020. Good for you for that one. Knives Out is the worst movie 2019. I have not seen it, so I cannot agree with you with that. 102 Dalmatians is awesome. Personally, I don't like the live action ones either. I mean, I don't like those in general, the live action 100 wild animations. I'm good with the animated ones as well. Terminator Dark Fate is the best Terminator movie. Well, I have not seen that one, so I have to say Terminator 2 is the best one for me. A Bug's Life is the worst Pixar movie. Well, that's a really hot take. I mean, you prefer that one than Cars 2. I mean, that is a really good hot take right there. Monsters Aliens is better than Coraline. Would say the 3D things is great, but that's not saying much, but do have to respect that for you. Ralph Breaks the Internet is better than Frozen 2. I would have to say that's a divisive thing. I mean, many people would say Ralph Breaks the Internet is good. Some people say Frozen 2 is good. So there's a debate on that one. But if you like the Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I am with you with that because I like the Ralph Breaks the Internet too, the DC Cinematic Universe is better than the Lego Batman movie. Honestly, I have to agree with you with that. I mean, Shazam, Wonder Woman 1984, Man of Steel, Birds of Prey are better, but I would just say those movies are way better than Lego Batman movie, but I would say Lego Batman movie is better than the rest of the DC Cinematic Universe movie. The climax of Wonder Woman is magnificent and underrated. Oh, that's a big one right there, because many people would say the third act is the worst thing about Wonder Woman. Baywatch rocks. I have not seen Baywatch, so I heard like there's a lot of people would say it's even bad. I mean, Jeremy Johns said it, Christian Harloff said it wasn't good, so I didn't bother watching that one. This is coming from Alex the Lion. Boss Baby is one of the funniest DreamWorks animated films. We'll have to say some of the comedic stuff from Alec Baldwin was funny, but overall, bad movie. Trolls World Tour is is my favorite animated film of 2020. I guess you and Inside Out fan, I think you guys are in the same boat for that one. But for me, personally, it's not my favorite, but it's still. But I mean, I'm glad that it has its fans for that movie. Madagascar 3 is a cinematic masterpiece. Yes, that's a good one right there. Shark Tale is an okay movie, but it's pretty bad. I mean, ugly animation, not that good. And then the last one of the unpopular opinions, this is coming from Jonah Whale. And Jonah writes, Secret Life of Pets is a horrible franchise. Yes. Minions is not as bad as they say. Well, it's technically not that good of a movie. Monsters University is an underrated gem. Yes. Guardians of the Galaxy is the best superhero film yet. Yes. Kung Fu Panda 2 is a bit overrated. Well, no, for me personally, that's the third one because a lot of people would say the third one is the best one, but I kind of have to say the second one is better. Megamind is the top 5 best DreamWorks movies. I guess, yeah, I mean, it is definitely one of the best DreamWorks movies they've done. Angry Birds 2 is a great movie. I would say it's a good movie for me. Onward is overrated. Well, for people, but for me personally, I don't think it's overrated that much. Hotel Transylvania is one of the worst films of the decade. Yes, I would have to agree. I mean, it's not the best franchise out there, but it's not that good either. Toy Story 4 is underrated. Not quite. There's a lot of debate. People would say it's either overrated or one of the least favorite Toy Story movies. DreamWorks makes better villains than Pixar. Yes, I would have to say with that. I mean, Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2 or Drago from How to Train Your Dragon 2 are even better. I mean, what they did with those characters, I just love the way how DreamWorks was able to write such great and threatening villains of all time. I mean, from Pixar, I would say Syndrome is the best Pixar villain, or even Hopper from A Bug's Life, but Lord Shen and Drago from Kung Fu Panda 2 and How to Train Your Dragon 2 are better. Despicable Me is better than Madagascar. No, I'm not saying that. I cannot agree with that. Because Madagascar is even... Well, I would say Madagascar is... There are some great movies in there, except for Penguins and Madagascar. And Despicable Me, there's only the second one I liked, but then the movies are not just good afterwards. But yeah. Number 13, Soul is a tad bit overrated. There's a lot of people who would say that. You know, some people say they were disappointed by it. Some people just say that it's overrated. I mean, some people would say they would prefer Wolfwalkers, even though I have not seen that one yet. There's a lot of people who would say that. Gravity Falls is the best show ever. For Disney XD, yes. Iron Man is my favorite movie character. Well, yeah, Team Iron Man is... There's a lot of people who like Iron Man. So yeah, I think that's all going to be it for the unpopular opinions video. So thank you all for submitting your popular opinions, and I'm glad I was able to answer each one of them. So I hope that you guys have a great day, and yeah, thank you all again.